Straight ahead on CCX News, a new face to help Brooklyn Center Police build community trust. Plus, a park upgrade in Maple Grove that includes one very generous gift. And later, a backyard getaway where the scenery is spectacular and life's stresses fade away quickly. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Higher profile incidents in Minnesota and nationwide between police and regular citizens have put a strain on community relations.
Within Brooklyn Center's police department, there is a new face in the department who aims to help build trust. Meet Mayamon Quigley. She's the new community liaison for the Brooklyn Center Police Department. Quigley brings to the job a background that suits her well for building bridges between the police department and Brooklyn Center's multicultural community. Quigley grew up in Brooklyn Park and graduated from Osseo High School, but she's also a first-generation Liberian American who has worked in public health. She knows earning the public's trust is essential.
I am still working in a police department, and I think there's still a stigma there, but also I think that because my family did grow up here, and we do know a lot of people, that I have already gained that trust with a lot of the community members too, but it's nothing that I'm walking in thinking that they're going to trust me just because of who I am.
The community liaison job is possible with funding from Hennepin County. Brooklyn Center Police have had a community liaison in their department since 2005.
As a major hurricane bears down on Florida, emergency workers from Minnesota are on their way to help, and that includes Plymouth Fire Chief Roger Coppa. The Plymouth chief is part of a statewide emergency response team. He will go to Tallahassee to help organize response to Hurricane Irma, and we caught up with him by telephone today.
We go down and help with planning and logistics. We could be in the state emergency operations center directing available resources. Local emergency operations centers stand up and they request certain things, but there are only so many things to go around. Somebody needs to manage all those resources and sort of divvy them up and prioritize.
Chief Coppa says, though, he won't know exactly what the job is that he'll be asked to do until he gets there. Governor Dayton says a group of 16 emergency managers from Minnesota will be in Florida for the next couple of weeks.
It is getting close to the finish line, but there will still be some roadblocks for drivers on I-94 this weekend. The westbound lanes of I-94 from downtown Minneapolis all the way out to 694 in Brooklyn Center will be closed all weekend long. That closure starts tonight, Friday evening at 10 o'clock, and will stay closed until Monday morning. Crews will be working to repave the freeway. The other lanes will be closed in a couple of weeks. MnDOT hopes to finish up the job for the year by the end of October. The color teal will be prominently displayed at the Friday night football game between Cooper High School and St. Louis Park.
And the reason for teal is to call attention to ovarian cancer. For several years, Cooper High School has taken part in the Tie It Teal campaign, with the football players wearing teal shoelaces and students and staff wearing teal ribbons to support Minnesota Ovarian Cancer Alliance. It's a cause with special significance for the high school because former athletic director Barb Lehman died from ovarian cancer in 2010. And her legacy lives on with a stadium named in her honor and coaches and staff who remind the students of Lehman's efforts for the school.
She supported the football team a lot, helping us with our new turf and make sure we got our program going to where it needed to be.
So it's just bringing that extra awareness, and so like I've been handing them out to my teachers and just telling them about it. So like when if people ask them why they're wearing teal, just say like it's for ovarian cancer, and like it's a very serious cancer.
Ovarian cancer can affect women of all ages, but it's most common in women between the ages of 55 and 64.
A Brooklyn Center woman needs help finding a member of her family who's been a source of emotional support. Snickers is a Beagle mix who was last seen in Amber Kohler's yard on July 19th. Amber says that on that day she stepped inside her house for just a few minutes, and when she came back, Snickers was gone. Amber only had the dog for about 2 months, but in that time span, Snickers was a source of emotional support who helped her through her bouts with depression.
And I have not been able to have children myself either, and I've had a lot of abuse in my life and other things, and so it's more than just a dog to me. lifeline and survival almost.
Amber has reached out to the police department and local shelters, but she doesn't have any leads. Brooklyn Center police say dog thefts in the city are not common.
A quiet park in Maple Grove has a new piece of artwork, all thanks to a donation from a local resident. This week, the Three Rivers Park District unveiled a new piece of art called Layered Lines on the peninsula at Eagle Lake Regional Park. This installation is the capstone to several park improvements that included removing buckthorn and rerouting a path. Bringing the artwork here creates a gathering space for people who use the park.
When you're in the parks, you're enjoying nature and you're looking around and you're kind of observing things. And it's the same way when you have art as well. You're sitting there and contemplating and thinking about what it is. And having them in the same place where you can come and sit and contemplate and kind of enjoy nature, I think really fits well together.
And this project was not funded by taxpayer money, but rather by the Maple Grove man who first approached the park about some sort of enhancement for the space. It took about 2 years to design and create the project. Well, still ahead, we get on our bikes and take you to a place that will relieve some stress in a hurry. That's coming up next in Backyard Getaways.
Plus, the third-ranked Champlin Park volleyball team opens its conference season with a win. That's coming up later in sports.
But first, a pretty quiet weekend. 70s with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Good weather on Saturday should bring out a big crowd for the Osseo Lions Roar Parade. We're looking at video from last year's big event. The parade steps off at noon with more than 100 units, including marching bands, floats, and antique cars. And afterwards, there's live music, a car show, and plenty of food, even a beer garden. And by the way, make sure to say hi to Shannon Slatton and Alexandra when you see them at the parade. In fact, they may put you on TV. Well, the Robin Gallery goes supersized in its latest exhibit.
Neil Persley is going to take us there in today's Weekend Showcase.
In a world where average doesn't cut it, bigger is better.
David is a photographer and a sketch artist. I am an abstract watercolor artist.
Bigger is better. A show of firsts is the title of the new show at the Robin Gallery.
Our discussions led to let's do a show together.
It's a big show.
Bigger is better came from my working in a larger format and David's photography in a large format as well.
It's also a show of firsts. It's the first time this brother and sister team have exhibited together, and although David Arrett is a professional graphics artist, it's the first time he's exhibited his art publicly.
David is a lifelong artist. I mean, he's featuring his first sketch when he was in like 3rd grade, all the way, to some of his more recent work.
CJ's style is contemporary abstract, using bold, bright colors.
I, on the other hand, took up art as an adult and chose watercolor as my medium.
Not every piece is enormous, but it certainly is an exhibit to make one appreciate the scale.
We were raised in a very creative family, and just different stages and different mediums.
And the show is rated G for ginormous. For Weekend Showcase from the Robin Gallery in Robbinsdale, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Bigger is better, right? Well, there is an opening reception tonight. That's Friday night at 7 o'clock, and the exhibit is open through Saturday, which is September 23rd.
Still ahead, a backyard getaway that requires getting on your bike.
But first, Armstrong and Totino Grace battle through 5 sets in prep volleyball. John Jacobson has that next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. Champlin Park's volleyball team has reached the state tournament 3 years in a row, finishing as runner-up last season. The Rebels lost some key personnel from that team, but still should be pretty good this fall. Champlin Park playing its conference opener Thursday night at home against Coon Rapids. Emma Schmidt, the set to Wisconsin commit Izzy Ashburn there, and she puts it down for CP. And then on set point, Ashburn rips the ace serve as the Rebels win 25-9. Set 2, a hard-fought point here by both teams. Good rally. And Schmidt ultimately gets the kill off of Ashburn's set for a 16-5 Rebels lead. The Cardinals trying to work their offense here, but Sammy Hilly gets the block and point. And Champlin Park wins the set 25-8. Set 3, nice dig by libero Caitlin Weimer-Skirch. Then Schmidt puts down the kill for Champlin Park. Coon Rapids fights hard at the end. Emma Wright drops in the kill here for Cardinals point. The Rebels come right back. Ashburn the back set to Schmidt for another of her 10 kills. Champlin Park wins the set 25-14 for the sweep. The Rebels are in Marshall for a tournament this weekend. At Osseo, the Orioles hosted Park Center in another conference opening match in the Northwest Suburban. The Orioles in black. Carissa Furman the set. Hannah Carmen cross court there for the kill. Osseo wins 25-17 in set 1. Park Center responds in a close second set. Sydney Workin to Lauren Beecham for the kill to make it 24-23 Pirates. They win it 25-23 to even the match. Set 3, the Pirates look to be on their way to another win. Workin to Beecham for another kill, and Park Center goes ahead at 19-14. But the Orioles come back. This is a long rally here. Kelsey Seelock with the attack. The Pirates dig it up, but their return lands wide. And Osseo wins 27-25, and they go ahead 2-1. And they carry that momentum into the fourth set. Taylor Kwan on the serve receive. Furman, Emily Rossing for the kill. That closes out the set and the match. Osseo wins 25-18. They take the match 3-1. Armstrong expects to field a strong team in volleyball this fall. The Falcons were tested by a young Totino Grace team. Totino off to a 1-2 start this season. Armstrong coming in 5-1. In game 1 was almost all Armstrong. The back set by Riley Fry and senior captain Olivia Hecht with a kill. It's 14-5 Armstrong. They win that first set 25-17. Totino was on a tear in game 2. Maddie Schaefer the set. Riley Rios the kill. It's all tied at 20. And then Totino's Lauren McCullich with the big swing for the kill. Totino wins 25-22, tying the match at a set apiece. Set 3, another close one. Grace's Bryn Smith with an ace. Grace wins 25-23. Totino's up 2-1. But Armstrong and junior Lauren Clark would not be denied. And a kill right there, one of 26 for her on the night. Armstrong wins game 4, 25-14. Fifth and final set. Fry to Clark. That is set match point. Armstrong pulls out a thriller at Totino Grace, winning it in 5. Now to soccer, where the Hopkins and Wayzata boys played an exciting match in the Lake Conference. Second-ranked Wayzata coming off a tie with third-ranked Edina on Tuesday. Tied at 1 in this one in the second half. Wayzata Sadra Gazalan crossing the ball there in front. Stuart Sane, number 17, scores. And the Trojans are ahead 2-1. Hopkins ties it up 9 minutes later. Zach Coet wins the battle for the ball and fires it in. It's all tied up at 2. Clarence Weah will then put the Royals ahead with a goal. A nice play by Weah here. His marker makes it 3-2 Hopkins. But with under 3 minutes to play in regulation, Eric Williams' long free kick is headed in by Drew Gallinson for a goal. That ties it up at 3. And Wayzata wins it in overtime. Belzerian getting the goal. Patrick Weah the assist. And Wayzata slips past Hopkins 4-3. In the girls' game, top-ranked Wayzata looking to remain unbeaten. Doesn't take them long to get on the board against Hopkins. Samantha Dietrich taking the pass. Marissa Kalkar had the assist on that one. 3 girls scored at least 2 goals each. Wayzata goes on to win 8-0. Live football tonight on CCX Richfield at Park Center at 7 o'clock. That's it for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. When we come back, a backyard getaway with spectacular scenery.
We'll be right back. Biking is the focus in this week's Backyard Getaways.
There are some great trails in the Northwest Metro, and reporter Eric Nelson and photographer Dustin Scholl found a good one in Maple Grove.
Been to some of the other cities like Portland and Seattle and ridden bikes out there and ridden on trails, and I can definitely say we have a top-tier system.
The Twin Cities is a biking mecca. There are 160 miles of mostly paved trails in the Three Rivers Park District.
And if you look on the map, we have Fish Park to the south, and we have Elm Creek Park, which is off the map.
Including 40 in the Northwest Metro.
And we are constantly planning new trails for the future as well.
The trails are one of the reasons we moved to Maple Grove. We live about a block away from them, and we use them all the time.
Maple Grove is one of the biking hotspots. Photographer Dustin Scholl and myself discovered that when we took a spin on the picturesque Medicine Lake Trail.
And it's mostly preserved acreage of forest, wetland, and it's very scenic.
Take a ride on this blacktop ribbon and you decompress quickly.
It's our happy place, without a doubt.
Peace and tranquility are the norm on this trail.
I don't hear any cars. I don't hear any neighbors. All I hear is squirrels, deer, whatever.
Despite being located near neighborhoods in busy I-94, the trail looks more like Bemidji than Maple Grove.
You feel like you're up north up here, which is kind of cool, especially in the wintertime when you get some snow on the trails. It's pretty neat back here.
When you're on the Medicine Lake Trail, you don't feel like you're even in a suburb or an urban area. It feels very remote, yet the access to the trail is right around the corner.
With pedal power and open eyes, we soaked up our surroundings. The scenery is spectacular, with plenty of changing landscapes. One minute you ride under a tree canopy. Then you are on a boardwalk going over bogs and wetlands.
We've been here 13 years, and I can't imagine leaving. Just for this reason alone, the trails. We love it.
Especially in the fall, the colors just change, and it's like living in another world.
Yes, there is an explosion of color on this trail. Purple and yellow wildflowers dot the landscape. And some sumacs are already turning red. There are bees and butterflies, and even bears that don't bite. We rode over bridges and through tunnels, constantly captivated by the views.
Nothing better than coming out on a fall morning when the sun's coming out and the leaves are falling like snowflakes. It's gorgeous. It's breathtaking.
There are more than 10 million visitors to the Three Rivers Park system each year. Many feel the tug of the trails.
4 million of those visits are on our regional trail system. So over 40% of our visitation occurs on our regional trails. I think that alone stands for itself, that they're in demand and they're highly used and very popular.
Signs are posted every mile on the trail system. If you come to a fork in the road, there is no wrong decision. Every turn is a right turn. For Backyard Getaways, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
And that's it for now. We'll see you next week.